Alright, shalom. First and foremost, we give our praises and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahshua, B'Shem HaSadash. Give honors to the apostles of Jeremiah and Rubel. Shalom to the faithful man who's always continuing doing the work of the Lord. Now, Lord willing, I just want to go into, just compare, the taxes that, because, when you had the 13 colonies and shit like that, you had Britain, taxing the hell out of American colonies. That's eventually what started the American Revolutionary War. You know what I'm saying? Then they got the independence and all that good shit, and then America became a nation. You know what I'm saying? But if you see the taxes that they had put on them at that time compared to today, today is way higher. And that just shows you that the American people today are weaker. They got comfortable. They too spoiled. They spoiled all the way around. Me and the brother, we already made a video a couple weeks ago about different Ukrainian or people from different nations like Britain, Canada, America, all that shit. This British dude, he volunteered to fight for the Ukrainians. And he was just saying that American people are spoiled. They expect fucking air support, and they expect to shoot and not get shot back, and all these different things. They get fucked up over there, and that's one way. And also another way they spoil is this way. You so spoiled, you so comfortable that you're getting taxed the fuck out of, you're getting taxed the hell out of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you still ain't rebellion. They don't got that old patriot so-called founding fathers type spirit no more. The Sons of Liberty, that spirit is dead, man. That spirit that made this nation, that shit dead. Because if those niggas was seeing this shit now, you know what I'm saying, then they would have fucking flipped out, man. And on top of that, because like again, they was getting taxed by Britain, right? But now a lot of shit is being caused by the so-called who's. You got your world leaders, Biden and Trump. So they got both sides in their fucking back pocket, Republican and the Democrats. They giving them motherfuckers billions, man, while you American people are suffering. Natural disasters is happening to you, and instead of giving them, what they give them like $700 for each person that was affected by those Hawaiian wildfires, which again, that was said to be caused, that's a conspiracy, but they gave them niggas $700 each while giving Israel billions, Ukraine billions. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, the American spirit, that Sons of Liberty spirit, that so-called made this nation and all these different things, it's weak, man. The Lord is weakening the spirit. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says these people became like women. All right. Now you don't even want to. Now the patriot spirit, that shit dead, man. All right. And it's gonna be another rebellion, But I believe, like I said, American people are spoiled. These people ain't gonna rebel until you take the food away from them. You take their freedom away from them. But if this is back in the day in 1770s, man, you tax them 1-2%, they gonna go fucking crazy. All right, but Boston Tea Party, y'all heard about this, right? It was a political protest on December 16, 1773, where American colonists disguised as Native Americans, right? Because Esau, he's the master at the false mag attack. I don't want to say the actual word just in case, but dumped 342 chests of tea into Boston Harbor. All right, this act was a defiance for protests against the Tea Act, which gave the British East India Company a monopoly on tea sales. And monopoly, that shit, man, you pretty much, if you got a monopoly on something, that means you pretty much can control everything. Like all that whatever you selling, you making all the money. You got no competition, pretty much. All right. It says, in the colonies maintain a tax on tea, all right, which they oppose as taxation without representation. All right. Let me see. And I believe at this time too, it was three different acts. It was the Tea Act that they did taxes, and there was other taxes too. You know what I mean? If you look into it. And they were saying pretty much that like they would have like $5, because it was like pounds, whatever. So in American dollars, it would be like $5 a pound or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then they lower it to $2 a pound, but that shit expensive as fuck. And now they got something similar to that, like the tariffs and shit. You know what I mean? But anyways, I compared the British taxes to the colonists compared to the American taxes today. It says British taxes on American colonies was a tiny fraction, around 1 to 2% of income, compared to the much higher rates in Britain, up to 25%. Right, because at that time, the people in Britain was getting taxed way more. But then, at this time, Britain just won a war. What was that? The French and Native. What was that? The French and Native War. The Native American. What the fuck is that shit called? It was pretty much the war that was fought between British and the French. And I believe the French, they had Gad on their side. You know what I mean? Gad was selling out, and they was fighting with the French, but they got their ass beat. So you know that shit cost a lot of money. So then they started taxing the Americas. You know what I'm saying? But it was a very low tax though. You know what I mean? Especially compared to what they was doing to the actual people in Britain. But that right there made them niggas like, cause pretty much too, you know, just to give a summarization, you know, cause there was still troops over here in America. You know, it's just Esau. It was just fucking Edomites everywhere, man. And they were still stationed there, so they was pretty much saying it would be cheaper just to keep them stationed. You know what I'm saying? Just to disband them, and they would have no job or whatever. You know, if you look up the history, it goes into it. You know, I read it a little bit last night, but just to summarize it. So to pretty much to keep it up, then they started taxing American people. You know what I mean? It says, and vastly lower than modern U.S. It says vastly lower than modern U.S. rates, which often exceed 30-40% of income for many households, showing colonists paid little but protested representation, not just the burden, right? So they just protested just because of the just because of the principle of it. They wasn't really protesting because it was so much money, because that shit low. You know what I mean? I wish taxes was this fucking low right now. All right. But taxes today is fucking ridiculous, man. I heard you got taxes on taxes. You know what I mean? You know, but it says, the colonial era, pre-revolution, low burden, paid very little, perhaps 1 to 2% of income. All right, and then it says, Salaki, hold on. My fault. I missed my turn. Anyways, then it says, hold on, let me park real quick. Slackers. But yeah, then it says, so yeah, taxes were mainly tariffs on imports like sugar, tobacco, and excess taxes like the Stamp Act on official papers, not income tax. Right, so they didn't even have it that bad, bro. It says the outrage wasn't the amount, but the principle of taxation without representation, because was Parliament taxing them without carnal consent, because at this time I forgot what it was called. It was pretty much like pretty much you're a British citizen or something like that. They pretty much gave them like, hey, we're gonna give you I forgot exactly, but we're gonna treat you like you're a Britain citizen. You know what I mean? But they wasn't supposed to be taxing them or something like that. So it was the principle of it. You know what I'm saying? But compared to Great Britain in the mid-18th century, was high burden. Citizens in Britain paid significantly more, with more estimates saying they paid 10 times what colonists did, up to a third of their income, right? America today. Now comparing it to today, modern rates, high burden. Modern U.S. tax burdens, federal, state, local payroll, that's fucking ridiculous, are much higher, with combined rates often reaching 30 to 40% or more for middle income earners, far exceeding colonial levels. All right, colonists had it good financially, but rebelled over political rights. Today, Americans pay far more in taxes, but have representation, highlighting the shift from low tax revolt over principle to high tax reality for governments. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the and this is crazy too. When America have 90% tax rate, which is 1944 through 1963. That's fucking ridiculous. But let me see. Look, today taxes are vastly different, dominated by complex, much higher federal income, payroll, social security, Medicare, and sales tax, funding massive government programs with taxes on income, wealth, replacing the old duties, though SF tariffs still exist. Right, so just to put the point, man, you know, these American people, they got soft, man. If this was the 1770s, these niggas wouldn't fucking stand for that shit, you know. All right, these people are spoiled, you know, and I don't think it's gonna get to the point where they are going to really rebel until there's no food in the shelves, there's no, it's hyperinflation, there's, you know what I'm saying, things like that, when there's no security, when immigration getting too crazy, all this shit, man. America is through right now. You look how many fucking heathen is in this place, man, with their fucking, all these different heathen doing fucking fraud and taking hella money from the American people, all this bullshit. If I really cared about America like that, I've been mad as hell, man. I see why these niggas want these heathen and these, to get the fuck out the country, man. Alright? Now, I'm against the situation with, what's it called? With the northern tribe and the southern tribe, because it's their land any fucking way. But I'm talking about the other heathen, like these damn Hamites and all this other rest of the shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially these Hamites, man. They fucking, it goes deep. I might do a video on that, man, because they doing fraud and just living deliciously off the American money, just taking from them. That's why Trump is like, man, get these niggas, all of them, get the fuck out, man. You know what I'm saying? Here's Jeremiah 50:37. The sword is upon the horses and upon the chariots, upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. Yeah, and these people are mingled. Is what it say? Heap upon all the people upon him, to himself, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. Right, and they shall become as women. There's many Christians that said that, these people are gonna become like women because now they weak, they feeble-minded, they spoiled. They don't have that patriotic spirit that they used to have, man. They trash now, man. All right. Let me see. This is 2 Ezra 16:21. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap. All right, let me. Let's like, hold on. Let me look this word up. Victuals, food or provisions. All right, provided with food or other stores. Right, and food right now, I mean, shit's getting more expensive, but it's still kind of cheap. You can go fucking if you really want to eat. I mean, if you don't give a fuck about your diet, you want to eat some slop. You can go to fucking some bullshit McDonald's or whatever and get some bullshit food. You know what I'm saying? So these American people are spoiled, man. It says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." You looking at the stores, everything, there's food in there, everything cool for right now. You got running water, all that shit. But the day is gonna come that you're not gonna be able to afford these things. Eggs is gonna be fucking $15, man. Things like that, man. These things are gonna get fucking expensive. And then there's gonna be war and pestilence and things like that. And then if you look up the article, when trucks stop, America stop, that's a great article. Because we so dependent on trucks. You know, all these stores are supplied because of trucks. Because of ships and trucks and airplanes and stuff like that. So what happens when a terrorist attack happens? So supplies won't be able to come to your city. Or it's just shortage of food because of war. Because famine doesn't always happen because there's no food. Famine can happen because of war, terrorist attacks, pestilence, things like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think, man, it's gonna be so much shit going on. You gonna have little hooligans and shit hijacking food trucks and shit. And you got to go to, and some people gonna have to go to the damn gangs to get some food. Alright? All these things are coming to this place, man. This place, you got so many damn heathen in this damn place, all mixed and mingled in this place, that they came from third world countries. This place is about to become a third world country, man. Alright? It says, "For many that shall dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." Alright? It says, and yeah, because there's going to be people that's protesting. Well, let's get that. You know, there's going to be people protesting and rising up. People going to be getting killed. You know what I mean? When these whack ass American people finally fucking grow some damn balls and actually do something, people gonna die, man. And then on top, like I said, I mentioned the so-called you-know-who's. Now people starting to find out more and more each day that, because they pride themselves so much on the American people. Oh, we're American, we America first, all this. And you really fucking thought that your boy Trump was gonna goddamn be America first. But now people starting to find out this nigga, he with the goddamn, the rap people. You see? So it's gonna be beautiful, man. When the day comes when these people finally like fucking snap and be like, you know what I mean? Because it was that scripture says, "You are small amongst the heathen, you greatly despise." You know, the laborers, man. It's so much. Let me get that one next. Let me see. Slovakia. Second Ezra 15-16, "For there shall be sedition among men, just like the Boston Tea Party." And best believe that shit gonna happen again. They're gonna blame Jake and say Jake did this, that, and they did this when all them little riots is happening. What happened? They was giving Jake, the fucking police officers was pulling up giving Jake fucking bricks. You have videos of random ass white people just pulling up to Jake giving him bricks and shit so they can fuck shit up. Police officers busting windows. Come on, man, it's the same shit. They gonna blame it on Jake. All right, just like in Roman time, they burned the city and blamed it on the Christians. All right, it says, they shall not regard that kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Right, so it's gonna come a day, man, when these weak ass Americans are gonna finally be like, all right. That's why I said I believe it's gonna happen when the Lord finally takes away. The Lord that's why I see, man, Lord willing. I'm speaking as a man, but we don't know exactly what's gonna happen to where everything's gonna be like, okay, this is gonna happen this day. We don't know, but I believe it's gonna happen to where the Lord is gonna have to take away everything secure with these people. He's gonna take away his food. They're gonna take away their security, their safety, terrorist attacks, all that. Because this little taxes that we going through, which is a fucking a lot, that's not enough for these people. Are too comfortable. They still somehow get taxed the hell out of each other. Get taxed the fuck out. How do you fuck even say that word? They get taxed. They tax the hell out of the American people. Let me say that. And they still just go to work, be a slave, and they just tell you to work hard and American dream, all that bullshit, man. All right, but they cool because they get cheap. They can buy cheap shit, but cheap hats and shit because it's made in China. Okay, whatever. For now. All right. Let me see. We get one last one, man. Job. And Job 20 and 22. Let me get that. BLB. Someone get that word. What is it? Slovakia. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. You look at the wicked, Amal, it means laborer, sufferer, wretched one. Laborer, workman, sufferer, toiler, toiling. All right. That laboreth, that is in a misery, had taken labor, wicked workman, right? Because we labor, and get tax. And we don't, you know what I mean? We just all fucked up. We can't really enjoy our lives laboring, especially with weariness and exhaustion, often used with a personal pronouns for the finite. All right. Okay. So yeah, man, that describes America, man, to the T. All right. So yeah, man, that's pretty much the point. I just wanted to make that point. Lord willing, hopefully that was edifying. I'm gonna give our praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahshua, Bashim Hakodash. The to the process of GMS for Ruel, shown to the faith men continue to do the works without mistake. Shalom.